Hello and welcome back to another daily cribbage. We are against Cliff, who is apparently a little cat, which is great because we have a chance against cats, I think. So we got 6, 9, 10 jack, get to throw away 7 king, which is nice and safe. As long as they haven't thrown away too many other kings and 5s, we're pretty happy. Well, opponent's gone in for a 4, which is really risky. Clearly they don't have much fear, maybe 4s and 8s, maybe they got 7s and 5s. I think they would have played a 9 if they had a 9, but okay, just double 4, double 8, so they didn't really have a good option there when we played our 6. Maybe they thought that when we played the 6 we were more likely to have 7s than we were to have 5s. Unfortunately we didn't have either, so couldn't really capitalize too much. This one we get to throw a 4 jack because the 10 is already good for us, so there's no point keeping 9-9 jack. And yeah, 7s are really good as well. We threw away a 4, so there are a few 4s left, so we'll go 8 here. Could also go 9. I think we'll go to 25 because we have a 6 in hand, so if our opponent passes, we get to get 31. Our opponent probably has a 4 left, so we'll just go with the 9. And I thought the 6s were slightly more likely. They had the 7 instead, which isn't as many points, but still pretty good hand for them. What are we at? We're at 20 and 20. I think we either want to throw away 6-8 or 2-8. I think we'll just go 6-8 here. If they don't get anything in the crib, then often it scores 0 because the 6-8 is very close. So that means that if there's no 7s from our opponent, then we hope to get something really good. And really good means hopefully 0 points. Did they throw away any 7s? No, just double queen. The 6-8 didn't play a role there. And what's next? Yeah, and this kind of hand is always annoying because if you have 3-7 with the 5, then you keep the 3-7 because you get to make some runs if you cut 4s and 6s, but 2-8 is just not as good. But I think we're still worth keeping, so we'll go ace-9. It sort of ruins our ability to make runs, which is always kind of annoying. Come up with the jack, because if our opponent has a 2, we do get to get a pair off that. I'm going to just play our 2 here. I don't think our opponent has many 10s. They probably would have played their 10 on the jack. In general, though, going to 21 is very dangerous. So watch out for that. Nothing in the crib. And what was the meta? Keeping the 9 and jack together. Okay. I can understand that. And this one might be to keep the 8s and 10s together in case we hit a 9. So I'm thinking we go 4 jack. We'll lead one of our 8s and we get a 15 here. Maybe our opponent played extremely fast there, so maybe they got confused about who should be playing first. Just 4 for us, just 4 for our opponent, and only 2 in the crib. Looks like a slow one today. We might come back to that hand. Apparently there was something we missed. Okay, so it's either 2-3 or 5-8. I think I'm going to go 2-3. Normally 5-7s I choose over, and 5-6s are a easy throwaway, but I think 5-8 is not as good in the crib, so I'm going to keep that together. 4 jack, ace. I guess we fear jacks more, but our opponent has fewer jacks, so there's something to weigh up there. And a big crib for us, taking us to 59. That is what 2-9 can do for you in the crib. Or 2-3 can do in the crib. I think I was looking at this hand and thinking that the only thing to do is to throw away 2-9, and let's start by playing a king. The king of clubs, because we have a 5 of clubs in hand. Play the 9 here. And let's see, opponent doesn't have many 5s because they would have probably played it last time. But they do have 9-7 for a magic 16, but it does give up one of the points on the play because they don't get the very final card. 69 plays 60, and we do have a flush in hand. And the flush is actually quite good. I think that I like it enough to not throw away 5-5 and just go with the 5-3. The other nice thing as well is that this top card is highlighting that the 5-6 is connected, so we do get some extra points from cutting this 4 that we wouldn't have got otherwise if we had just thrown away 5-5. And opponent also having some 6s and 5s of their own, benefiting from the 4. But 13 from our hand is excellent, almost at 96, and it's almost tying up the game. Now, there is an argument that 8-9 here is a little too risky to throw away, but I don't think we have to worry too much. If our opponent gets 20 points in the crib, which they can't do because we cut a king, we'll think about it again. The worst thing that can happen, I think, is our opponent getting a 12-point crib if they throw away, say, 7-7. But actually, they just get 0 points because the 8-9 didn't combo with anything. Okay. No runs, there's a 6-9 in hand, we can throw away our low cards. And we get paid off by jacks and 8s. We throw away ace 3. So maybe our opponent doesn't have an ace in hand. Maybe. Let's find out. We do have an ace. What does that mean? That means that maybe 22 is safe. If our opponent doesn't have anything, we get to play our 9 for 31, and our opponent just has 2 10s left, so they don't get to combo because we break it up with the 6. Okay, our opponent's made it over 90, so they're not getting skunked today, but we've got to 117, so I think we're going to make it. And in these positions, well, there's no way our opponent can really score that many points on the play, so we're safe to just keep the biggest hand. If the scores were a bit closer, then we wouldn't keep all of these cut, or maybe we would. We might be tempted to keep both of the 8s together because it might allow us to go out faster on the play. But usually you want to keep the thing that plays the best and just gives you enough points to win. So, say good game, and let's go back. Well, let's have a little look. So on the play, we scored a few extra points, and we also got lucky in the hand and crib. So a good game. Let's jump back to that previous hand. So here's the question. Is it 4 jack as we did, or is it 4-8? Well, I think according to the computer, because it harshly evaluated the 4 jack that I went for, I think the computer's going to say 4-8, but let's look at the positioning and see how things are really going. So we're at 30 points, our opponent's at 34. So in terms of milestones, our opponent's the dealer, and so they're behind their milestone at 44, or they're looking to get to their milestone over the next 2 hands as the dealer, and which they'll almost certainly do, only needs 10 points. And then that means that as pawn, they're going to be able to try and extend their position past that milestone. We, on the other hand, are 14 points behind that milestone, and looking at our hand, we're quite unlikely to get it unless we throw away 4 jack and hit a 9. That would give us a hand that's worth 10 points, and maybe with a couple of points on the play, which looks quite hard to do considering the playability of our hand. We only have 3 different values, and we don't have any small values to try and spike the 31 with. We also don't really have any magic kind of combos. So magic combos here as pawn would be if you're playing against 5, 10, 10, 10, then you're looking to make a 16 in 3 cards, a 6 in 4 cards. Those would be sort of your magic numbers, or an 11 in 3 cards as well. That would also be magic. But no, with a 5, 8, 8, 10, we can only make 16 in 2 cards, which sort of works against us, because then that would help our opponent, who would play out their 15 in 3 cards, in 2 cards, sorry. And since our opponent plays second, they would be the one to make 31 if the play went something like 8, 5, 8, 10. So, hand is not particularly great for playing, and we can't make it any better by doing a different discard. If we discard 4, 8, then again we're just playing with 5s, 8s, and 10s, and if there was some way to keep the 4 in our hand, maybe if we discarded 8 jack, then we're playing with 4, 5, 8, and 10, and again, there's no way to really add those numbers together to make anything that's magic against 5 with lots of 10s. Of course, having the 4 is a bit better for the play. It means that we can start to do some different things. We have some different options. We could lead the 4 maybe, and then if our opponent pairs it, we could make the total 16 with our 8, and then if our opponent goes 10, then we can go to 21 with our 5. So there is some potential there to get some points on the play if we have a 4. But it doesn't make up for the cold hard points that are in our hand. Namely, we can get 4 points by throwing away 4 jack, 4 10, or by throwing away 4 8. And so the question is, one of the questions is it better to throw away 4 jack or 4 10? The reason why we keep jacks is because they can get us an extra point for nibs. Or is it better to keep the 10 jack in hand, throw away 4 8, and arguably 4 8 is a higher expected average in the crib than 4 jack, and also nice to note that we don't have any 3s in hand, so that means the opponent might be throwing away all their 3s. One way they might throw away a 3 is with 2 3, which is a famously good discard. So 2 3 would combo with 4 8, and so that'd be quite bad. But it's hard to throw away anything that doesn't combo with 2 3 here, because we're throwing away either 4 8 or 4 jack. So maybe we actually don't need to worry about our opponent throwing away 2 3 after all. So I think that the reason why I discarded 4 jack here was because of the possibility of hitting a 9. So the hand is in general getting us 4 points, but we also have outs to getting lots of points, which would make up for our positional deficit. So if we do hit the 9, then it's not a good card for our opponent because it doesn't combo immediately with the 4 jack, and we block the 10 going in the crib. And we also get something like, we get 10 points in our hand, taking us up to 40. And we're not at the milestone just yet, but we are making up some ground. On the other hand, if we just wanted to go for averages, I think that what the computer's going to show us in a moment is that 4-8 is superior. Of course, we would throw away the 4 of clubs, 8 of hearts to avoid the flushes. And what does that do? Well, it means that 9s are still good for us because we get a long run, 8 through jack. So our hand is going to be worth not 10 points as it would with discarding 4 jack, but it would be worth 8 points, sometimes 9 points if it's the 9 of diamonds. And the thing that also opens up is us getting a queen, and the queens would be particularly good because not only would they combo with the 5, we get the 3 card run, 10 jack queen. So I suspect that that means that there are more cards that are good for us on top of the deck, and the cards that were already good for us, namely the 9, they're still quite good. So I assume that for that reason, we're going to see a distribution where our hand is on average worth a little bit more, but we don't get to see those really big spikes. So let's jump over. Let's have a look at how these distributions really look like, and let's adjust our mental picture with the computer. Now this is very interesting. So we're on Liam Brown's website, and it turns out that apparently 4-10 is slightly better than 4 jack. And what's the reason for that? Well, it's actually because of the jack. The jack is, of course, worth a little bit more in the hand than the 10, because because anytime we cut a diamond, it's going to be worth an extra point. So that accounts for the roughly 0.2 difference in hands between first and second place. Whereas in the crib, it accounts similarly for about 0.3. And I assume that that's because just because of the jack being worth an extra point whenever we cut a diamond. So overall, 0.2 in the hand, maybe 0.3, and 0.3 in the crib, that adds to about 0.5, which is a significant difference. One thing that I really wanted with throwing away 4 jack was the ability to hit those 10-point hands whenever we cut a 9. And so if we compare, say, as a group, 4-10, 4 jack with the 4-8 discard, so just focusing on the third row now, what's the difference? Well, the hand is worth a little bit more by throwing away 4-8. That's going to be because of consistency. It's going to be consistently worth more points. But in the crib, 4-8 is just a little bit more dangerous. So let's check out these distributions. So I'm mostly interested in how the hands are different and how the cribs are going to change a little bit. So if we throw away 4-8, there is apparently a chance that we get 11 points. And what's that from? Well, that's an 11 points if we cut the 5 of diamonds, but of course a 5 is never really an out, so we should be careful of that. The thing that I was more interested in is these bars right here. So we've got a chance to get 10 points about 8% of the time, whereas if you want, well, actually with 4-8 you get 10 or more also about 8% of the time. But you don't get this 10 bar, a chance for getting 10 if you throw away 4-10, because you can't make those double runs. So, but what you do get with throwing away 4 jack is you get this very big bar at 8. So 34% of the time, so about 40% of the time you're going to be scoring 8 or more, which is quite nice. Whereas with so we can put that in as a target score. Let's say we want to get 8 or more. And we go back to our table. We can see that, yes, the most consistent way to score 8 or more would be to throw away 8-8, because there's so many cards that give us a run, and also the 2 cards on top the two tens combo with the 5, and we can just get another 10. Yes, like 9s and queens. Okay, but we're not throwing away 8-8 here. That's a little too risky in the crib. If we wanted 8 or more points, then yes, 4 jack is the most clean way to do that. But really, to get to our milestone, we wanted 10 or more points. Really, we're 14 points away, which is quite far. Seems quite difficult to do. Still, apparently, 8-8 is the best way to do that. So, I hope you enjoyed that one. I've got to go now, but I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.